Samsung Galaxy M30 Review NDTV GADGETS360.com. Samsung made it very clear at the launch of the Galaxy M series that this new series is targeted at young millennials, a market that has been captured by Chinese smartphone makers for a few years now. In order to recap, while we already know how competitive the low-cost smartphone market can get, is the Samsung Galaxy M30 capable enough to take down the competition? We put it to the test. It is designed a lot like the Galaxy M10 and Galaxy M20. It has a teardrop, has opted for a plastic unibody for the Galaxy M30, and offers it in two colors, gradation blue and gradation black. We had the gradation. The power and volume buttons are placed on the right of the Samsung Galaxy M30 and offer good clicky feedback. We found the gradation blue color variant of the Galaxy M30 has a beautiful gradient finish. At the top, the Samsung Galaxy M30 only has a microphone hole, while the 3.5mm headphone jack, USB Type-C port, and loudspeaker are placed at the bottom. The phone has Samsung has managed to pack in a big 5000 mAh battery while keeping the weight down to 172 grams. You get The Galaxy M30 sports a big 6.4-inch Super AMOLED display with a full HD plus resolution 1080x2340 pixels. The panel is crisp. The display settings on the Samsung Galaxy M30 can be tweaked and you can choose between Adaptive Display, AMOLED Cinema, AMOLED Photo, and Basic. We had the display. The Galaxy M30 has two nano SIM slots and a dedicated micro SD card slot. Powering the phone is an octa-core with 2 ARM Cortex-A7 3 cores clocked at 18 GHz and 6 Cortex-A53 cores clocked at 16 GHz. There are two connectivity options for the Galaxy M30 include Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, and GPS. It has an XLR. The Galaxy M30 comes with Samsung Experience 9.5 running, on top of which is a slightly dated version of Android. Our review unit, you get a few pre-installed apps from Samsung including Samsung Max, a data compression app, My Galaxy and Microsoft Office Mobile, OneDrive, LinkedIn, and a bunch of Google apps are also pre-installed. Samsung ships the Galaxy M30 with Android Auto. While setting up the phone for the first time, it gave us a list of recommended apps to install, which we didn't. During setup, Samsung has baked in a few handy gestures. You can swipe down. The Samsung Galaxy M30 has the same processor as the Galaxy M20 and we were expecting similar performance out of it. With day-to-day the fingerprint scanner is quick to unlock the smartphone, and there's also face recognition which uses the selfie camera to unlock the phone. Face recognition. Dolby Atmos is available, but it can only be enabled when using headphones. We found the loudspeaker. To test gaming performance, we played which defaulted to the medium preset with graphics set to balanced, and frame rate set to medium. We noticed lag. The triple camera setup on the Galaxy M30 sits flush with the back panel. We ran several benchmarks to test the performance of the Galaxy M30. It scored 1 million. The Galaxy M30 managed 22 FPS in GFX Bench T-Rex and 7 FPS in GFX Bench Manhattan 3.1. These scores are low. This phone makes up for its average performance by offering good battery life. With a 5 zeros in our HD video loop test, the Galaxy M30 clocked 17 hours and 4 minutes. This is a good time. The Galaxy M30 has a USB Type-C port. The triple camera setup on the Galaxy M30 consists of a 13-megapixel primary camera with an f/1.9 aperture, a 5-megapixel depth sensor with an f/2.2 aperture, and a 5-megapixel ultra-wide-angle camera with a 123-degree field of view. For selfies, Samsung's camera app is simple and easy to use. You'll find toggle photos taken with the Galaxy M30 were on par with what we've seen from some of the other smartphones in this price range. The shots we took, when shooting against the light, We observed chromatic aberration. The phone could tap to see full-sized Samsung Galaxy M30 camera samples. The ultra-wide-angle sensor is useful to capture wider subjects, or groups of subjects, but since it lacks autofocus it is best used for landscape shots. It did introduce photos clicked with regular lens top and wide-angle lens bottom on the Samsung Galaxy M30, tap to see full-sized images. We shot some portraits using the live focus mode and were happy with the output. You can set the level. The low light camera performance of the Galaxy M30 was average. Photos had low. Selfies taken with the 16-megapixel front camera had good detail. We also used the video maxes out at 1080p for the primary camera but lacks stabilization, which led to shaky results. Verdict: the Samsung Galaxy M30 is the third smartphone from Samsung in the M series, and is priced well at Rs 14,990 for the 4GB RAM variant and 17,990 for the higher 6GB RAM variant. It is one of a few. We were hoping for the new One UI with Android Pie on the Galaxy M30 and were disappointed to find the older Samsung Experience UI along with Android Aria. For the asking, are the affordable Realm 3 and Samsung Galaxy M30 smartphones worth buying? We discussed these.
Raindrop, drop top, smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park pot.